Today I have a 2025 Ram 1500 RHO, and I wanted to ask the question, is this truly better than the Ford Raptor? I borrowed this truck from Larry H. Miller, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah. This truck is available. Be sure to ask for Sam. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see options and features on this build. At the very top is a description. And base price for the RHO is going to be $69,995. And you guys see the colors. And then this is going to be a short listing of the standard equipment. It does have a 33-gallon fuel tank, by the way. And under the options, starting it off, is the towing technology group for $645. Has a digital auto dimming rear view mirror, which is a must-have for me for sure. Trailer tow group gives you the trailer tire pressure monitoring system, and I'll show it to you guys in the glove box here. Also, bed utility group gives you the spray and bed liner, lower two-tone, and then this one does have the level 1 equipment group, which is basically high trim for this one. Black Power Fold trailer tow mirrors is a separate option for $795. Dual pane roof is $1595, and this one does have the rock rail, so I can't wait to show those to you. Destination comes in at $1995 with a total price of $87,555, and then here are the Philly commenters off to the side. Correct me if I'm wrong, when the TRX first got introduced, couldn't you get one for under 90 grand? I think you could. Now this RHO has pretty much every option with the exception of the Pro Power and a few other things, and it's under $90,000. So it has the look of the TRX, it just doesn't have the heart of one, but that's okay, that's okay. This truck looks amazing, has the refresh, the new headlight design, and I think it looks great. You guys can see those sequential turn signals, all LED up front, including the fog lights. Clearance lights are right there as well on the hood scoop because of how wide this thing is. This thing is huge. Pretty much all blacked out on the front end, and I actually like it with the white paint too. Front camera, flow through for that Ram badge. Parking sensors, adaptive cruise control. This does have autonomous driving too, so it'll pretty much drive itself on the highway. Recovery hooks, and check out how big the skid plates are down below. They go back pretty far, and this does have that sport performance hood. And I thought this was a graphic, but no, this is all plastic here. Very interesting design there, for sure. This is Hurricane high output. Let's go ahead and check out the suspension here. One thing you can't take away from the Ram is how they build this suspension. Now, upper and lower control arms are going to be a forged aluminum. Now you guys can see that steer knuckle is going to be a cast aluminum. Okay. Now, as far as the suspension goes, most of you guys know that the Ford trucks have the Fox shocks, and if you get the high trim, it has a dual valve setup here. Now, those are going to have deflective disc, and what's so cool about this Bilstein Blackhawk squared shock absorber is these actually use spool valves, and I thought that was pretty cool. I'm really shocked that they did that. You probably heard that before in terms of the GM trucks that have the DSSV, so even Ram uses the spool valve technology too, which is pretty cool. Coilover setup, look how meaty those coils are too. Those things are thick, and you can kind of see the reservoirs in there. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit for you. Right, you can't really see. It's right there. Well, you see the line of it right there. The line's right there, and both of those oil reservoirs are nicely tucked in there for protection, and I thought that was a great idea for sure. But yeah, you can see that squared body on the shock absorber too. Let's go ahead and check out the other side really quickly for the suspension. Now, one thing you're not going to have on these Baja trucks is a sway bar disconnect. Ford doesn't offer it, the Ram RHO doesn't offer it. It's very interesting. Now, the Power Wagon has one, but they don't give it to these trucks for some reason. Interesting. That shock does have a 2.6 inch diameter, by the way. And then you guys see the tires here. These are the Goodyear Wrangler Territory ATs. LT 325/65/18 is the tire size, so it's going to have an 18-inch wheel. Now, if you care to know what it is in inches, it's going to be 34.6 inches tall, 12.8 inches wide. So this is a meaty tire for sure. It looks great on this truck. As far as the capacity on the tire, it is 3,195 pounds. Max PSI is going to be 50. And I will show you guys the yellow sticker on the inside, so you guys can see what they recommend for the tire pressure. It's gonna be a load range D. Let me turn the truck. The sun is kind of changing on me here. It was a little bit cloudier today, and now it's sunny. So let me give you guys a better view of the truck on the side. Looks pretty good in white. Now here's a good look at the truck with those tow mirrors. It doesn't look bad. Normally I wouldn't pick tow mirrors, but because this truck sits a little bit higher, it has a nice look to it for sure. You have these lights here if you're stationary, and then you have your turn signals. More cameras right there. Now on the front, you guys saw that vent probably. It does kind of pass through over to this side here. And that wheel well is a plastic material. Here are the rock rails. Not a great step, but let's see how much it protects. Okay, so it does protect a good bit, for sure. Now, I don't see where they're installed at. I don't see that they install it on the framing. So yes, they just install these on the cab. I do like the way Toyota installs rock rails. They install them on the frame, and I would like to see these American manufacturers do something similar. Black painted door handles, and as you guys heard earlier, this did have a 33-gallon fuel tank. Premium fuel required, and you guys see right there more of those Bilstein Blackhawks. Really big coils. They give you a liner out back too, which is nice. You can see all those links. You probably can even see some of those skid plates too. They give you one for the fuel tank right there. They also give you one for that transfer case, for the transmission. So everything is pretty much protected underneath. Out back you have the full LED taillights. Dual exhaust. This one does have the step too. Now this is not functional. It's just there for style, and I'm glad they did it because it looks good. They do give you recovery loops installed on that hitch, looks like. You have your plug for camera, and that looks to be a 12-way plug for camera. 7 4-pin LED lights, and full-size spare tire. Now I can't see, is that a, yeah, that looks like a matching wheel too. 392 rear end with a locker. There is a light right here. Camera, and this is powered. Spray and bed liner was an option. They still give you the 400 watts of power, which is good. LED bed lights, tie downs. You have your rail system for tie downs. Power sliding glass. It's gonna be 2, well, at least I see 1 camera. Maybe there's only 1 camera there. I'll check on the inside in a second here, but if you want to put this tailgate back up, just like that, just use your knee. You do have more clearance lights in red out back. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. Now I know some people are going to complain about this 3-liter inline-6 twin turbo engine in the comment section, but before you do, know this: you can get a truck under $90,000 with that suspension, with those big tires, with this wide body, and 540 horsepower for under $90,000. That ain't bad. I mean, listen, I know that inflation sucks, and yes, it does suck. But right now, if they had a TRX, that truck would be over $110,000 for sure. Now, as far as the engine goes, cooling is actually pretty good. It does have an engine-mounted water-to-air charge cooler, dual water-cooled exhaust manifolds, and it does use the aluminum deep skirt block with plasma transfer wire arc. Also, it's going to have a closed deck design for this engine. So this is pretty overbuilt, and you guys can see right there, 0W40 oil is what they use for this one. If you were to get the standard output, which you cannot get in this truck, by the way, it would be a 0W20. Now, as far as the power goes, you heard me say 540 horsepower, right? It's gonna have 521 pound-feet of torque, and this engine puts out about 26 PSI of boost, 9.5 to 1 compression. So that's pretty much why you have to burn premium for something like this. And I do like this little intake system that they give you too. Check that out. Pretty easy to service, and it is closed off once the hood is down too. And that hood scoop is functional. So yes, this is definitely still a really good truck, and I think that this engine, with how they designed it, is pretty good. The only negative thing that Ford has that the Ram doesn't is Ram does not do port in direct injection like that Ford EcoBoost. I think that was the biggest mistake they made, personally. Now, the injectors are centrally located, so hopefully that does mean that those intake valves do get sprayed. Let's go and check out the interior. Inside the interior, when you get that level 1 equipment group, you really do dress up this truck. And one thing you cannot get with a Raptor, even a Raptor R, is massage seats. That's a big one. I think that next year you're going to see the Ford Raptor have that, because they got to compete with the Ram truck here. But a lot of leather on this door. You also have this suede material, carbon fiber. You have this perforated suede here, more leather, auto up and down for the front windows. And when you get the tow mirrors, you get a ton of functionality. You can pretty much see there, top and bottom, including the convex, are heated. Other manufacturers don't do that. You also can power extend the mirrors. You can also power that convex if you need to adjust it for towing a trailer. I love the speaker grills on the truck too. Down below there is a lot of hard plastic, but not a big deal. I'm not going to complain because everyone does it. On the seats, you guys see, it does have a 12-way because the lumbar does go up and down. I would have liked to see maybe a nicer kick plate for this level 1 equipment group, just saying. Although, you know, hey, Ford don't give you sport pedals, not even for the R. So you get sport pedals. Also, if you want to turn on those power plugs, there's a button for that. Power pedals, electronic parking brake, and here's some of your lighting. They do wrap the grab handle here in leather. And check out the seats. Great bolstering on the seats. You see some of that perforated suede, gray accent, and then the rest of the seat's gonna be black. Tilt headrests. And that comes standard, even on the steering wheel, perforated leather. 12-inch screen, heads-up display is up there, and more leather wrapping, more of that suede. Let's check out the passenger side. 12-way seat on this side. I always check just to make sure I'm not saying it wrong. RHO badge, more leather, leather, leather. And the seats. And these are real leather seats too, just as an FYI. 14.4 inch display right there. You also have a passenger screen. I'm not going to take too much time on this, but you have the cameras here. You also have a front camera, so if you want to be a co-pilot off-road, you could check on some of the stuff. They also give you that 360 camera. Yeah, this is nice. If you are on a long trip, you can basically have wireless headphones, hook them up to this. If you want to put in a navigation address over here while you're driving, that is available too. Leather wrapping on the side, storage, and here is your trailer tire pressure monitoring system. So they give you, was that 4 of them? Yep, they give you 4. And for your vanities, twin panel. Let's go and check out the rear. A little bit of storage. Look at the design on the back seat. No one really cares what you do back here, but they definitely did step it up. A lot of perforated leather, suede. They give you are these MOLLE strips, I believe? I believe that's what that is. And you can drop these headrests. You can also recline these seats. No other truck in the segment allows you to do that. There is some storage here. Also, you have more with tie downs on both sides. And look how big this cab is. Like I've said this before, look how wide the door opens. That is just insane. It's the biggest cab. If they were to put this on the HDs, my goodness, that would be amazing. Now they don't wrap these in leather, but check this out. Heated and ventilated seats, 4 USBs, 115 volt power plug, more of that carbon fiber. And check this out too. This is nice. Suede, leather, cup holders, more storage. Power sliding glass. Speaker grills look great. This is probably one of the best trucks, honestly, in the segment for luxury. They do such a great job. Let me show this to you. It's a little bit easier to show this way. Shows you the horsepower, turbochargers, VIN number. Actually, the boost is 28 PSI for this truck. It says 26 online, but yep, 28 PSI. Let's go and go over to the driver's seat. You have your paddle shifters there. Push button start. Now you guys saw the camera views. One thing I want to show you really quickly. If you go to vehicle and go to camera, I do like these driver curb sides. It's pretty cool, right? And because the screen's a little bit bigger, you have big cameras too. Here's the surround. Now this is small still, but it's a little bit bigger than the 12-inch display that it replaces. Now it does still come standard with 12-inch display with RHO, so just keep that in mind. Now, if you go to dashboard, you guys pretty much saw you have all your drive modes here. So you have Sport, Street, Rock, Tow Haul, Baja, tons of different drive modes. Love this layout here. I thought this had active exhaust, but it doesn't. If I rev it, you can really hear the engine more than you can hear the exhaust. And you have that active suspension. You can see those reservoirs up front. That's pretty cool. And the drive modes, it adjusts pretty much everything. Steering, brakes, suspension, transmission, engines. Pretty cool. So you put in sport mode, see how everything changes. Love that. You can go back here, go to race options. So you have launch control, race prep, shift light, and performance pages here. So you can see right there that that rear is unlocked. They also give you some gauges too. Tons of gauges. So pretty much the same stuff you've seen on the other trucks, more of that carbon fiber. You can see more of the gauges on this side too. This is page number 1, shows you what gear you're in. Let's go ahead and put it in drive. If you want to manually shift it, you have that option. Shows you some G-force. Second page is your active driving assistance, adaptive cruise control, active lane management, all that good stuff is on here. And it does break down the drive modes. My favorite, you have your fuel economy and all the gauges here. I mean, if you're going off-road, especially at low speeds, you really want to monitor that transmission because that gets really hot. A few more gauges. They have a ton of gauges on this thing. Insane. You don't have a dipstick, so this is your dipstick. Battery voltage, tire pressure, stop start. Shows you what drive mode you're in, and then it has the engine idle hours. You guys see up there? Heads up display. And that is pretty much it. I mean, there's so much to show in no time at all. Like, I have so much more to do today. You have all your USBs, dual charging for your phones, your gear selector. There is a cover for that. Cup holder. One USB. And there is a 115 volt power plug in here too. Couple more things to show. You do have your seat massage, right? So if you turn them on, you have 3 levels of intensity. You also have seat bottom right there, and you have 5 different to choose from. So if you want lower back, for example, or extend, yeah. And it works pretty good too. Let's go ahead and check out the numbers on the door. Gross axle weight rating out front is going to be 4,300 pounds. The rear is 4,200 pounds. 7,800 pound gross vehicle weight rating. And the wheels are going to be 18 by 9 wide, so you can get a meaty tire on there if you want. All in payload, 1,245 pounds. Tire pressure is 38 psi all the way around. Hope you guys liked the video. Again, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. And I try to be as thorough as I can and as accurate as I can, but hey, sometimes I make mistakes, so it is what it is. And hey, if I do make a mistake, let me know in the comment section, and if I see it, I'll pin the comment later.